Hey guys, how's it going? Companion here. So today I expected to show you guys a few videos about my rips in Van Helsing 2, as that's what I played all day. And well, ripping is all I did yesterday. So, bit of a surprise. I actually didn't die at all today, and I learned a few things. Part of the start of the stream today, I tried to really understand what kind of skills were strong. Before today, I realized that the Thor Mage is, I don't know if it's better than the Engineer or whatever class, the other new class, but it's certainly better than the melee build that I thought was required in hardcore. And I'm going to show you guys kind of what I came up with, a build, kind of what I came up with, some gear, and in general what I've learned from the game, because it's not a very well-known game, it's not a very expensive game, and I feel some people want to try it, and some people are probably going to be pretty frustrated on the game because the difficulty is ridiculous. And maybe this gives you guys some ideas, some advice on how to create a character in general. So, here we are. This is my character. His name is Reroller because he's probably like the 20th Thor Mage that I made. Don't know what veteran means, and heroic is the second last difficulty level. I believe heroic was the last difficulty level in Van Helsing 1. The reason I'm playing on heroic is on the highest difficulty level I played from level 1, which is easier than starting at level 30, which is an option in this game. In my opinion, it's a lot more fun to start at 30, but it's harder. And even at level 1, even with pure tank, I got one-shotted off-screen while I got insta-stunned by a monster through a charge. So it's a difficulty where you're at the mercy of a game completely. And I feel like I'm not that committed to this game to try to play it on that level. So my friend Bob Slop advised me to play on heroic, and that's what we're doing. And I'll show you guys where I am and how my character is set up. So I think my character is in a zone right now, and oh, no, he is in town. The zone that I'm in, I'm not going to spoil the story too much, but it is pretty scary. It is one of the few zones where my merc, Lady Katarina, does actually die. Anyway, before I show you guys that, I'm going to show you guys just a few of the skills real quick. So in this game, you put points in the skills, you level up the skills, and you can level up the power-ups of each of the skills, and you can level up kind of like augmentations that are usually at 5 and 10 skill levels. So for instance, Energy Bolt, I put 10 points in it. Putting points into a spell increases the damage. Sometimes after a while, it's not that big of a deal. For instance, I use this thing at 5 points because the mana cost is pretty high, the damage is not that significantly improved, and it's 3 skill points per level. For instance, if I put a skill point in this, it increases the damage by about twice the increase that all elemental damage would give me, but it also increases the mana cost. So because of that, I'd rather put it in something like this one because it's 2 points and it affects my other skills. Energy Bolt, I got to level 10. This is a very simple skill. It is better than it seems when you have it leveled up and you have this one. I tried Ice Shards. Ice Shards is also pretty good, but the problem with Ice Shards is that it commits you to standing still for a longer period of time. You can see the cooldown is longer. The cooldown is longer because the cast time is longer, and if you're in place a longer period of time, you're at a higher risk. It's also much less mana. You can see level 1 Ice Shards costs more than Energy Bolt. And the other thing is you get this cool passive, you get like free damage in a way. So Energy Bolt, I got to level 10. I didn't get any of the power-ups, and I'll show you guys why. And at 5, they do half the amount of damage in a 1 meter radius. 1 meter is fairly small as AoE. And then another one is the thing that you're seeing, or the balls around me. Every 5 seconds I get 1 free Energy Bolt, and when a monster approaches me, it fires off for free. So that's really nice. So this is my primary skill. It's probably the one I cast the most, but that's because my other ones are very, very heavy skills. So the 2 heavy skills that I use and that I learned are pretty much the best 2 skills on the Thor Mage, at least up to level 44. Primarily I use Spool of Energy for AoE. Spool of energy is 21.5% of my spell power per second. The duration is 20 seconds. So essentially, one cast of this is over 400% of my spell power. And it follows the enemies. So it's like an AoE guided missile for 400% of my spell power. And it's actually better than that. When you cast it, it starts on your location, but it follows enemies. Right now it's following me because there are no enemies in town. But it's really powerful because during the effect of 20 seconds, not only can it go off screen, it can go really, really, really far off screen. So the safety aspect of this ability is amazing. The other one that I use is the discharge, and this one is mostly a single target effect, but again, it has absolutely huge damage, and it's only at 5 skill points. So it does last 10 seconds, and it does 38% of my spell power. So again, you know, for one cast, it does about 400% of my spell power. But with this one, it does like a nearest damage. So if there's a high priority target, let's say that dude right there, you can cast it right on him, and it'll just continuously zap him. But you can do this, you know, at the very, very far corner, sometimes over bridges, sometimes over that kind of stuff. And the idea is that all my 3 damaging skills are high range, very mobile. So I would just, you know, click that, run away a little bit, maybe do 1, and the whole time I can avoid things with my character. And that's really, really important because the damage in this game is absolutely insane. So I have a few other skills. I almost maxed out bodybuilding, which is a hit point bonus, a little bit in resist, a little bit in that kind of stuff. I don't exactly know where I'm going to go, but I do like this Vicious Thorn one. It does damage equal to a percentage of your spell power to the opponent, and there's a 20% chance that you heal all the damage you took from that strike. So because this is a 1-point skill, it will easily increase the mastery of this line, so I'll get a lot of free damage for it. And you know, it's kind of like a 20% defensive thing just because of the heal, so I really like that. And there is Ray of Entropy, which is also healing. I don't know how much I'll invest in this, but it does look pretty promising. Other than that, I'm not so sure. I'll let you guys know if my character is still alive by the time I get near the bottom of the skill tree. Out of the other lines, there's a few things that are pretty important. Ghostly Mirage is a very powerful skill. You can actually max this out or get close to max, and it will essentially triple your Mercenary, but your Mercenary doesn't actually get all of the bonuses that your original one has, so it's not really that good. Paleness gives you invulnerability. Leveling this up doesn't really do that much. It increases the duration, but the duration maxes out at like 5 or 6 seconds. The idea is you use this when you're going to go, you know, through some damage, through some mobs, just to not take any damage. 1 point, in my opinion, is crucial. You have to have this. The heal 1 point is normally garbage, but because it's a modifier of the spell damage, 1 point is essentially just about a full heal. I have 3,100 life, and that's 25, so pretty good. I can put a second point in. Literally, it's only 1 point. I'm actually even considering doing it now, so it is a full heal. But usually, you're not at 0 life when you need to use that ability. As for the auras, this is the reason why I don't have any of the combo bonuses for each of the skills. And they're not very expensive, and it's, you know, one way where you can play the game with the combos is that this character I built so it's simple, so I can focus on the mechanics of the actual game and the positioning of my character, more so than, you know, how I would use skills more complexly perhaps. So the idea is that this character stays at maximum rage and does not use any rage. Pretty much just ignore the mechanic, and as a result I get a huge crit damage multiplier. And this bonus is applied at 90% maximum rage, because when you're out of combat sometimes you lose rage right away, and you know, you want to keep your bonus. And when I'm at max range I get 1% crit. Telekinetic aura is extremely important because of the build. You're not really taking melee hits, but you are taking ranged hits. A lot of ranged hits in this game are unavoidable, are really fast, and just, you know, really crazy. So 44 damage reduction against that is amazing, and this is a 1 point skill, so this is very, very good. This is the other skill, the 2 point skill, Aura of Defiance. It's just damage mitigation again. This is a skill that I just now started leveling up. This at level 1 is also fairly potent. So this is my character. I'm not too sure I'm going to put in the last slot, but I'll figure it out sometime. The character is built primarily willpower, but also very high body. Body base is 125, willpower base is 169, and it is, in my opinion, in the first game, it was possible and somewhat reasonable to stack one stat all the way, but it's kind of like strength in Diablo 3. So you can see that 341 willpower gives me 331% spell power. If you have like 100 willpower, another 5 will give you a 5% increase in damage, which is, you know, the amount of points that you get when you level. But if you're at 350, another 5 will give you 3.5 times less benefit. So it's really not that good to just stack one stat. And because it's hardcore and because, you know, the monsters do crazy damage, this is a very reasonable way to get the stats. I do have quite a lot of resists, and it's also important from the stats again. When you're spec'ing into multiple stats, you get a lot of different perks. With the perks, I'm not sure what the exact best ones are, but I'll show you guys what I have. I have percent resists, 32% chance to gain all mana when below 10%. This used to be really good, but I'm probably going to drop this sometime. It's just not proccing when you have a huge mana pool. CC resistance is huge. 10% speed. I'm not sure what this is, but even if it's a run speed, 10% speed is really good. Minus cooldown on this type of character is amazing. Each time you cast a spell, you get 10% damage reduction. So it's kind of like 7 to 10% damage reduction for, you know, 1 perk point. Good stuff. Iron Man, I think, is a flat resistance bonus as your life goes down, but I think the flat resistance bonus is not that high. Master is good. I like 5 skill points for one of these. I don't like Teacher, which is only 3. I don't think it's worth getting. I think this is worth getting because often in the game you find items that are slightly higher level, and this allows you to use them one level before, and that's really important. Obviously, if you're higher level, maybe this isn't worth it, but as you're leveling through the game, Veteran Hunter is an amazing talent. 10% spell power is fair. I'm actually not even sure if it stacks additively with willpower. This might actually be garbage. 20% all resist is one of the best points in the game. 10% cooldown, 20% mana regen probably is the best point in the game. Elementalist is alright. Elemental damage is separate from the spell power, so it's another multiplier. So elemental damage, if you don't have that much, 5% is quite a bit. 10% elemental resistance, not too bad. 10% damage on a max rage, again, this is why this is a max rage character. You can get, you know, further points in Berserker. You can get Berserker 2 for another 7, but like I told you guys, if you're going fight to fight, you'll be at 100, but if you have small pauses in between, you'll be at like 95 to 100. As you can see, the rage is going down as I'm making this video. And Second Chance is an ability that you only get from softcore, but in this game you can start a softcore character and then turn it into a hardcore one, which is what I did, and I was pretty scared that I would just die right away, as I have with all of them. But as it turns out, this has not yet procced for me, but I have been really low. Just to finish off the character, my gear, I'm stacking a lot of crit chance, and the rest is just, you know, as high HP and resist as I can get. Items in this game are pretty cool. You unlock stats. So for instance, this amulet, it had no stats to begin with, and then as you use mana, and you know, you can see I'm still doing that, you unlock certain stats. And as it turns out, this amulet was ridiculous because 8% reduction of cooldown of spells is ridiculous. And there's another one, this is probably the more interesting item that I found in the game. I don't even know what this does. Touch the Island of the Crystal Workshop is the only thing that I did, and it didn't actually unlock a stat. So, I don't know. Interesting stuff. Make sure all your items are enchanted. If your items have essence capacity, try to put something on them. Damage is reduced by a flat amount is a very good one to have. These boots are fairly low level, 35, but you know, they give me movement speed, which I haven't really seen on any boots before, and they give you know, quite a reasonable amount of stats otherwise. The other important part of your character is your Mercenary. Your Mercenary should be all body without an exception. As for skills, I have a lot of senseless ones because at a certain point you just have too many skill points for her, but I'll show you kind of my ideas. So the first thing you need to max is Spirit Guardian. She takes damage for you. Right now it's 35% of damage that I take, she takes. A lot of the 1 point skills are good. So like 1 point in defense, 1 point in resistance, and 1 point in corporal bond. 1 point in corporal bond is like a 7% stat transfer, so it's like 15 body for 1 point on her. That's great. Bane Aura is also, in my opinion, a must-have because not necessarily for the poison vulnerability. My character does no poison damage, but the aura slow around the Mercenary makes it so you can kite better and you can run away from things better. This is one thing that people often max, which is Power of Vengeance. It increases the damage for Lady Katarina, but this talent actually sucks ass, and that's so because this stacks additively with the stat bonus. So body gives her 217 melee damage. This will give her another 20. So it will increase her damage by like 6% or something. And I mean, it sounds okay, but for 2 points, you can give her like 4% crit or like 4% haste, and that turns out to be a lot more damage. So Power of Vengeance is actually crap. What is good though is giving her % hit points and giving her resists and percentage resists. So she is very, very, very tanky. I prioritize tank items on her alone, only tank items. I didn't think this was any good, but she is dying in the zone that I'm in to like one-shots, so I mean it's only 1 point. I'm thinking of maxing this. This is kind of like the 1 point Wonder Tree. 1 point proc of Paralyze, 1 point proc of Frost, 1 point proc some Wisps. Who cares? I put 3 in this one because it seemed pretty efficient. It's 1.6 of my HP each time she attacks, and because she's so tanky, she's alive all the time, I essentially have a small passive heal. And Touch of Death isn't very good, but again, it's a 1 point skill, 1% chance to kill something instantly. Why not? It's very minor, but it's very cheap, and it's very, very high value, which is important. So that's about it. I can give you guys a short demonstration how this character works and what you can expect of difficulty, but because I have not played through this part of the game, I don't know what I'm about to do, I don't know what I'm getting into, so it might be really dicey, I might die. It's unlikely, but we'll see. So I don't have max rage right now, so my damage is a little bit low. I'm just proccing all my cooldowns. The monsters here are really, really nuts. You can see the off-screen tactic here. You can see that she's hurting, even as tanky as she is. I have 3,000 life, which is a lot, and a lot of mitigation. But some of the things that instantly kills her would obviously instantly kill me. So I'm going to get out of here because that was a little dicey, even though I didn't really get hit, didn't really get low. When my Mercenary dies, because she tanks for me, she takes a high percentage of the damage. When she goes to half life, it's obvious that it's a very, very dangerous area. So that's about it. The game is really cool. The game is very similar to the first Van Helsing. In terms of what they added to the game, I'm very pleased with it. But the only thing I'm not too pleased is the difficulty balance, which I talked about yesterday. And, well, I kind of got around it. I've found this mode of the game to be, just about as difficult as the first one was on the last difficulty level. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a blast. I'll continue playing, and I'll tell you guys how it is when interesting things happen. Hope you guys enjoy it. See you guys tomorrow.